All right, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Call Halal Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shai Ba'asham Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone for teaching and ruling well in the scriptures, and salutations to you Akim across the world, pushing his word in truth and in sincerity and maturity. And this is an article I found. It's from Breaking Israel News. It says Gog and Magog heating up. Russia clarifies it will side with Iran against the U.S. and Israel. Okay, and this is basically biblical prophecy, because the Lord's words that are written in these scriptures is actually coming to pass. All right, the words that the prophets are speaking out on the highways and byways. This word is coming to pass right in front of all the nation's eyes. Okay, let's get this real quick. This is Isaiah 55 and 10. For as the rain cometh down, and the snow from heaven, and returneth not thither, but watereth the earth, and maketh it bring forth and bud, that it may give seed to the sower and bread to the eater, so shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereunto I sent it. So, Russia siding with these, with the nation of Iran, is according to biblical prophecy. It says Russia's chief national security advisor Nikolai Khrushchev defended Iran's claims during a trilateral meeting with his Israeli and American counterparts in Jerusalem on Tuesday. Okay, it says he clarified his supports for Tehran's accusations against the U.S. and backs their current military presence in Syria. So they're backing and siding with Iran, which Israel considers to be a threat to its national security. All right, so war is going to ultimately be an effect of this, and that's going to bring us into the biblical prophecies of Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shai and his orchestration. All the words that he spake to the prophets and had to be published in the scriptures. All right, that's why it tells us to read. Blessed is he who readeth the scriptures, man. None of these things are going to come back void. It's going to go through. All right. At full force, it's gonna go through the Lord. Everything's gonna be done and finished, man. Okay, but then this is funny because they have this scripture here. They have they have a piece of a scripture that says Gog and Magog heating up. Russia clarifies. How do they know that these are linked? Because they're listening to the prophets, man. Because the Lord's words. So I'm gonna read it again. Isaiah 55. And 10, it says, for as the rain. So they're considering what they already know that what we said is the truth, man. The elite banking families, it says even the devils fear and tremble, man, according to the scriptures. For as the rain cometh down and the snow from heaven, and returneth not thither, but watereth the earth and maketh it bring forth and bud, that it may seed to the sower and breed to the eater, so shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereunto I sent it. Alright? Let's see, let's get this. 2 Ezra 15. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord. So these are the Lord's words that he has put into our mouth that we're teaching the world, man. And it says his word shall not come back void. So that means that what we're saying is going to happen. All right. And Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shai is orchestrating this all and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Okay. So how are we understanding that what we're saying is the truth? Because we're measuring the time. Okay. We're being shown tokens. All right, according to the Spirit, through the Spirit, you see all the earthquakes, everything spoken of in the last days is coming to pass, man. And this Russia siding with Iran, and I'm gonna read down here, and Egypt soon. Additionally, Egypt's foreign minister, if not already, I'm gonna have to look into that. Additionally, Egypt's foreign minister Sameh Sukri confirmed with Egypt today on Monday that Russia and Egypt share a similar position. That's the key right there, man. So that Russia is the prophecy of what's happening with Russia, Gog and Magog, is actually happening in the world. Is seeing it, man. Okay, this is Ezekiel. So get it, Ezekiel 38:1. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against the Gog the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him. That's what we doing, man. Through the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, we've been made prophets to all the nations, man. Let me get this real quick. So we're prophesying against the Russians too, because they're Edomites, so they're gonna get destroyed as well. Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is gonna destroy them too. Okay. This is going to be. Let me get this. This is Jeremiah 28 and 8. I believe it's 28 and 8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries, and this Russia, Magog and Magog, or Gog and Magog, is one of them. In this time that we're prophets out there on the highways and byways prophesying to. This is one of the countries, and against great kingdoms. They're a great kingdom of war, and against Babylon the Great, and against Iran, and against the other nations. You see, and of evil and of pestilence. Salakia, and against great kingdoms of war. That's what we're talking about. I'm talking about this lesson is about them going into war, man. This is the time that we're living in. We're prophesying about war. And what we're seeing is the fulfillment of a prophecy in Ezekiel the 38th chapter. Okay? It says, and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. The prophet which prophesieth of peace, when the word of the prophet shall come to pass, then shall the prophet be known that Yahweh hath truly sent him. Alright, the prophet which prophesied of peace, when the word of the prophet shall come to pass, then shall the prophet be known that Yahweh hath truly sent him. That's what's being prophesied. Ezekiel, this is the prophecy, Ezekiel 38 and 4. And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws. Alright, it's talking about Russia, Gog and Magog. And I will bring thee forth in thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya. Persia, all right, the Iranians are the Persians, okay? They know that. Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet. Gomer and all his bands, the house of Torgama and of the north quarters and all his bands, and many people with thee. Because ultimately, Russia's gonna gather all these nations, and it's gonna bloom into World War III. Okay, according to prophecy. Be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. That's why you see Russia supplying these smaller countries, all right, and all sorts of other countries with these S-300s, S-400s, and more military artillery and weaponry and all sorts of things like that, man, because it's prophecy, because Russia's becoming that guard unto these nations for the big war, okay? And they shall dwell, Slovakia. It says, Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet, Gomer and all his bands, the house of Torgama of the north quarters and all his bands, and many people with thee. Be thou prepared. That's what's happening. They're getting prepared. And prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company. That's why you're seeing them gather these other nations unto them that are trying to escape and get away and not live under the tyranny, all right, and all the different types of abominable works and just wickedness that the biblical Edomites, all right, present to the world through their takeover, through their rulerships, all right, through war with other people, man. They don't want to be under it, so they're getting behind Russia, who they think to be the better option. You see? Be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. That's what Russia is becoming. After many days thou shalt be visited, in the latter years thou shalt come into the land that is brought back from the sword, and is gathered out of many people, against the mountains of Israel, which have been always waste, but it is brought forth out of the nations, and they shall dwell safely, all of them. Okay? So salvation is going to also come. Salvation is going to come out of what's being pushed into the world, man. What's gonna come of this prophecy is also salvation. We know that to be when the Lord Yahushua, redeems the elect. Lord willing, we're all in the number. Because the Lord is going to destroy Babylon the Great. The Lord is going to go around conquering. He's gonna go around and save his elect out of all this destruction coming too. It says, "Thou shalt ascend and come like a storm. Thou shalt ascend and come like a storm. Thou shalt be like a cloud to cover the land, thou and all thy bands, and many people with thee. Thus saith the Lord power, it shall also come to pass that at the same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought." And that's when the Lord is going to use Russia to come against Babylon the Great America, man. All according to the prophecy, okay? Along with earthquakes, along with us waking up. You see? This is just signifying and making more known that we're in the last days, man. The last days of the last days, man. War could be any day. Things of that nature, man. This is Matthew's, and also the coming of the Lord Yahweh Shai, man. Matthew's 24 and 6, "And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet." So all these things happening, but the end is still not yet. But we're getting tokens of the end is near to come. That the end is near to come. "For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places." That's also happening. So we're hearing about wars, rumors of wars, and all these other earthquakes and famines and all sorts of things happening right now, man. Because Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is getting ready to visit the earth, man. Prophecy is the Most High's basically his movie, man. This is his script. And you have the prophets of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai speaking to you with his words. He says that we are his mouth according to the scriptures, man. He doesn't physically, he don't come down here and tell you people. He sends the prophets, man. Okay, this is okay, let me go back to this. This is 2nd Esdras. This is 2nd Esdras. Let's see here. 9:1. "He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before," we just read about it in Matthew's the 24th chapter, "then thou shalt understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then thou shalt well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning." So this was already planned. Okay, this has already been orchestrated. This has already been plotted out, and this has already been made a movie script. This is the Most High's movie. "Then thou shalt well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest, even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonder and powerful works and endings and effects and signs." And we're being given all the signs through the Spirit to know that this is the end. Okay, this is the end of the age. Okay, this is the end of the so-called. This is the end of the so-called free world that people think that you could just live freely and do all types of wickedness. And this is the fall of the biblical Edomites, man. This is 2nd Esdras 6. Let's see here. This is 2nd Esdras 6 and 7. It says, "Then answered I and said, What shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, From Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world." That's the world that we're living in now. That's about to come to an end. "And Jacob," you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, all right, the elect, and the 1/3, the innumerable multitude, is the beginning of it that followeth. Okay, this is what's taking place, and it's all going to culminate out of that war that we're being seen. That's being seen in the article that I read. Okay. Let's go. Let's see. Salaki, bear with me 1 second. This is This is Revelations 20:3. It says, and cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that he must be loosed a little season. It's talking about the biblical Edomites that are in control of the earth right now. Job 9:24 says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. And cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that he must be loosed a little season. Okay, so then the little season that he must be loosed, that's the current season that we're currently living in. There's rulership being run by the biblical Edomite. This is that little season. It says, I'm going to script down a little bit. I'm going to go to Revelations 20:8. It says, I'm going to go to start at 7. And when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, which is resorting back and referencing Russia, okay? Because Russia is presently in the land mass of Gog and Magog, even though that is the land where Japhet would reside, okay? But today they're not in that land. The biblical Edomite, all right, so-called Russians are in the land of Magog. And the Lord this is a prophecy about whoever's in that land mass in the last days. And it happens to be the so-called white man, all right, as the so-called Russians. The biblical Edomites. All right, because it says that, look, it says in the beginning, Revelations 20:2, and he laid on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan. Let's talk about the biblical Edomite. Okay, the wicked. It tells you that in Malachi 1:4. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. Okay, and that's exactly what's going on. And the people that reside in this landmass in this day are the biblical Edomites. To gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. And they went up on the breadth of the earth, and compassed the camp of the saints and the beloved city, and fire came down from the Most High out of heaven and devoured them. Talk about the nuclear missiles, and that's what's taking place when we look at articles like this. Okay, these are the times of war, and ultimately, this war is going to lead into these missiles being launched everywhere, man. Okay, it's going to lead into the valley to the valley of decision of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right, let me get it. This is Joel 3. In 1 it says, for behold, in those days, I'm going to start down a little bit. It says, verse 11, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down. O Lord, let the heathen be wakened, and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. And that's this war that's brewing, according to the scriptures, man. This third woe, World War III, as the world knows it, man, is right around the corner. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come get you down, for the press is full, and the fats overflow. For the wickedness is great. Multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. Okay, so war is going to be an effect of that prophecy in Ezekiel the 38th chapter. It's going to culminate into war, World War III. This is Isaiah 14. Let's see here. It's Isaiah 14. And this war is going to ultimately result in the destruction of the biblical Edomite here in Babylon the Great, America, man. Okay, this is the downfall, the destructive downfall that the Lord is going to give. Isaiah, and it's going to be done, and the Lord is going to use all these other nations that are being gathered together, with the head being the biblical Edomite in the land of Gog and Magog, the so-called Russian, man. And they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? That's why they're gathering and they're disagreeing with America, man. They don't care about disagreeing with this country anymore, man. Okay? Because they have realized that this place is economically destroyed and is finished. There's no way that this country can go into war and effectively, all right, fulfill all things needed in order to win a battle, man. That's why they're saying, all they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? Thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vows, the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? All right, and this is that nation that has been used, and when I say this nation, Babylon the Great, America, which has been used to weaken the nations. All right, through all sorts of wickedness, man. You see, let's get this. This is back in Revelations 20. And Russia's going to be used to come against the biblical Edomites here in Babylon the Great. Revelations 20 and Revelations 20 and 7. And when the 1,000 years are expired, all right, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison. And this happened in the early 1300s, late 1300s, 1400s. All right, ultimately through the Borgia family in the 1400s. Okay, the first crime family. All right, this is when the biblical Edomite came back into power. They were loosed out of their prison, which was them being ruled over by us during the Holy Roman Empire. Now we're living in that little season that they have been loosed. Verse 8, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth. That's what's taking place. You see? They have deceived the nations. Why? Because the world has forgotten who we were, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, who are the children of Israel. All right, and in all sorts of other doctrine and ideology. These people have deceived the world, man. And shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth, but they're about to be judged by Russia. Okay, so-called Russians, the biblical Edomites that are in the land of Magog. It says, Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is the sand of the sea. All right, and we read that in Joel. Let's get it again. Joel chapter 3. Let's see here. And this is what this is talking about. Joel 3, let's see here. Joel 3 and 11, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about thither. Cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. And these heathens are gathering into, what do we know? The so-called Middle East, man. You see, that area over there is hot. Iran is over there. Okay, Turkey is over there. All right, the biblical Edomites are all over there. The Elamites are over there. The who else? The Hamites are over there. You see? Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come get you down, for the press is full. The fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord is near in the valley of the decision. All right, and all those multitudes are going to consist of the forces that Gog and Magog, the so-called Russians, are gathering unto themselves. Okay, this is let's get this one more time. Back in Ezekiel 38. Ezekiel 38 and 3, and say, thus saith the Lord, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Persia, these are the Iranians, man. Ethiopia, Libya, all countries that hate the biblical Edomites, man. with them, all of them with shield and helmet. Okay, that's what's being gathered. That's why Iran, they're siding with Iran. That's why they're having mutual feelings with Egypt. You see, and selling all these other countries S-300s, S-400s, and all types of other military weapons and artillery, man. Rockets, missiles. You see, tanks, helicopters, selling them all these things, man. Gomer and all his bands, the house of Torgamah of the north quarters and all his bands, and many people with thee, be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. You see, that's what it's talking about here. These are the multitudes and multitudes, as well as the other side, which is Babylon the Great's military, Israel's military, and their allies. But the allies are going to eventually turn on them as well. All right. The beast shall hate the whore, which is a part of the prophecies, man. The beast system being all the other certain of the other European nations that have banded together, man. All right, to come from under the oppression of Babylon the Great, America, because they realize this place is, deceiving them, man. Okay, Revelations 11, it says that the Most High is going to destroy him that destroyed the earth, and he's going to use these nations. This is Joel 3. Joel 3 and 11. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen. Okay? All these nations outside of our people are heathens, man, and they're being gathered to go to war. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the press is full. The fast overflow, for their wickedness is great. Multitudes, multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. And the day of the Lord is going to be the beginning, is going to be the end of the biblical Edomites rule, man. The devil and Satan, as it says here in Revelations 20 and 2. And I'm going to go right down to 20. Let's get this last scripture ended here. Revelations 20 and 8. And shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog together. Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. And that's what's happening, man. That's what's taking place. You see? Russia. It will side with Iran. The Persians. Call all Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Bashim Kakodash, double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone for teaching and ruling well of the scriptures, and salutations to you Akim across the world, pushing this word in truth and sincerity and with charity. Shalom and Abba Babal.